a plan.
Oh,
So
me
welcome
myself.
everyone. I am so thankful and blessed to be with you all today, and that you guys are all healthy, because as we know, that pandemic has been really crazy, affecting so many families and so many lives. So it's just a blessing to be here and to be healthy, first and foremost. Secondly, I just want to let you all know that you are in for a treat. So kind of like Miss Leah explained a couple minutes ago, that this is like our first chance in a lifetime type of opportunity, because it's both PTI. So if you don't know what PTI stands for, it means Parent Information Center. So every state must have a Parent Information Center. So on the Missouri side, Missouri Parents Act is the Parent Information Center. And then on the Kansas side, Families Together is the Parent Information Center on the Kansas side. And so we thought that this would be such a wonderful opportunity for us to collaborate together, because Kansas and Missouri are so close. And we have families that sometimes come to the Missouri side from Kansas, and I know on Leah's side, vice versa, that come from the Missouri side. So this training today is basically an overview of both of our services that the Parent Information Center provides. And if you all need any type of assistance, please feel free to reach out to either myself or to Leah, because we represent the Parent Information Centers for both states. Today's training, once again, is going to be an overview of Missouri Parents Act, a little quick bio about myself. Once again, my name is Princess Banks. I have been with MPACT for about 4 years now. I am a parent of a child with disability. My child has ADHD. She's 12 years old. And so when I came with MPACT, I remember I felt so hopeless, right? I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what was out there for me, how I could assist my child. So MPACT, when I talk about MPACT, it's not just a career for me. It's like my family. They have really helped me. And so what really drives me in this position is helping others to become empowered to advocate for their children as well. So that's why I am here. A little bit more about my background. I come from a teaching background, pre-K up to high school. I have a background in counseling, and then I have a master's degree, soon to be master's degree in social work. So that's my passion, and that's some of my background. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to get started and share my screen with you all. Hopefully I get this right, because you know technology has a mind of its own. So, Miss Kirsten, can you enable me to share my screen, because it's saying that it has to be approved by you first? Let's see. Kristen, are you there?
I think I just did.
Okay.
Did it work?
Yes, there we go. All right, I think we're in business now. Okay, so let's share. All right, so let me get it presentable for us. All right. All right, guys, it's loading. Bear with me. All right, yay. Got it to work. Let me move this down. Okay, so once again, the organization on the Missouri side is called MPACT, Missouri Parents Act. I just also want to throw out there that you all, at the end of the training, I will be emailing you all a survey, since we're grant funded and we need to know how we're doing. So if you could take the time to please fill out the survey at the end of the training, that would be greatly appreciated. I will email you all. Also, I know that Ms. Kirsten kind of explained before when you guys registered that the information provided is going to be kept confidential. I want you all to know that it's only used for the purposes for the grant. So it's only used for both PTIs for that purpose only. So if you don't feel comfortable sharing something, that's quite all right. But if you would mind, if you haven't registered, please take the time to register so we can send you out the survey, and to thank you for attending today's workshop. So what does MPACT provide? MPACT provides training, information, one-on-one support. MPACT's mission statement is empowering families to advocate for themselves so that children with special education needs can reach their full potential in education and life through support, training, and education. So a quick disclaimer that I want to kind of throw out there so everyone understands is that by no means are we attorneys, by no means are we advocates. However, when we are assisting families, we're more as mentors. So meaning that what a mentor does is that you provide a family or a parent or a professional for that matter, the information that they need so they can become empowered enough to advocate for their child or for their client. It's helping them become knowledgeable in their own advocate. So when families call MPACT, quite often they say, oh my gosh, I want to have an advocate, you know, go out there in the school and tell the school off and so on due to very variety of different things, if you can imagine. And what I like to tell families is that you have everything that you need inside of you to advocate for your child. All we need to do is make sure that we're educated on the special education process, and you can do this. And that's kind of my approach. So I just wanted to throw that out there so we all have an understanding about what MPACT's role is when we assist families. Parent Training Centers and MPACT. So MPACT was awarded the first federal IDA grant for the state of Missouri in 1988. So ladies, and if we have any gentlemen, I think it's just ladies, but I'm covering all bases, we have been around for a while. MPACT has been awarded this grant for almost 30 consecutive years. Oversight is provided by an executive board. Remember, we're grant funded, so we have an executive board. Members of the executive board and MPACT staff have family members impacted by disability. MPACT is one of 107 parent centers in the United States. All states are required to have at least one parent training center. MPACT is Missouri's only parent training center. So parent centers, training information centers provide training and assistance to the families of the nation's 7 million children with disabilities. They are funded through the U.S. Department of Education under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDA. Every state has at least one parent center, and those states with large populations may have more. So for instance, every year there is a nationwide training for parent information centers. And so it's a wonderful opportunity to kind of meet parent information centers, you know, in different states. And so California, I know, has like 4 different parent information centers for that state. But nevertheless, each state must have at least one parent information center. Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDA. Before IDA, children and young adults did not receive appropriate education services. For those of you that are on the Missouri side, and I know on the Kansas side as well, probably have a similar training, if you would really like to learn a little bit more about the background and history of IDA, please feel free to visit the MissouriParentsAct.org's website, because we have a special education law training that actually goes over IDA a little bit more in depth. So this is just going to touch base on it a little, it's just briefly, okay? So many were excluded entirely from public schools and general education curriculum. Undiagnosed disabilities prevented children from succeeding in school. Inadequate resources in schools forced families to seek education services outside of the public schools. So that's really sad. So this is before IDA, right? So then after IDA, look what happened in history. Children and young adults would receive free, appropriate public education in the least restrictive environment. If you all do not learn anything else from today's overview of MPACT, these are important terms that you are going to definitely want to keep in your memory bank. Free, appropriate public education and least restrictive environment, LRE. That is very important. Most students progress to post-secondary education, employment, independent living, and being a part of the community. Families can look forward to the future with hope. So that's where we're at now with IDA. Now kiddos nowadays, they must be provided a free, appropriate public education, and they must be provided in the least restrictive environment, meaning that they're in an environment that is appropriate for them. Now keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that the environment for each student is going to be different. And for example, let's say a kiddo has an autism, 2 kiddo has autism. What may work for one kiddo with autism may not work for another kiddo with autism. Therefore, IDA is meant to be very individualized for the student, and it's really meant to meet their individualized needs. Parent centers help families to better understand their child's disabilities and education needs, communicate more effectively with school and related professionals, understand their rights and responsibilities under IDA, obtain appropriate services for their children, resolve disagreements with the school and other agencies, connect with other community resources that assist children with disabilities. So this is something that both with the Missouri and Kansas PTI brings for families in the community. Our role is to help families become empowered so that they can advocate for their child, so that they learn what the education, the special education process is for their child. Because as we know, and it's kind of an understatement, but knowledge is power. And that is just so true, especially when it comes to special education. MPACT's commitment to individuals throughout Missouri. MPACT is committed to reaching all families and professionals in Missouri, including individuals from culturally and racially diverse backgrounds. MPACT has two multicultural coordinators to help serve these unique needs. MPACT has a Spanish-speaking staff member as well. So if you are on the Missouri side and you have a family that is maybe new to the state, or maybe they need, you know, an interpreter, please feel free to have them contact MPACT. My role, which I didn't share before, but I'm going to share now, my role is a multicultural coordinator for MPACT. So I am one of the multicultural coordinators, and there's one in Kansas City. I cover the Kansas City area and other surrounding counties, and then there's another multicultural coordinator that covers the St. Louis area. So within both of our roles, what we do is we help families that are new entering to the states, families that are English as their second language, populations that are underserved, urban core areas. That is our main predominantly focus. However, I help as many families as I can, no matter what diversity or population that they live in, but predominantly that is my role. Okay, so please feel free, like I said, if you're on the Missouri side, please feel free to reach out to us if you have a family that has some of those particular needs there. MPACT Parent Workshop. So once again, kind of like I shared earlier, MPACT has a variety of different trainings and workshops available free of charge via webinar and in person. Since the pandemic, we've had to slow things down as far as in person, where we're not doing anything in person at all at this time. However, we are doing everything virtually. And you know what? It has been quite a blessing because we've been able to reach so much more populations since we've been going virtual. So just, you know, for you to have peace of mind, if you in the past you weren't able to attend any of the trainings due to your work schedule or due to, you know, a variety of different things, it is now webinar training. So it is accessible for everyone now. It's a lot easier. So MPACT helps parents and youth through workshops. MPACT has over 20 workshops. Topics include special education process, special education law, effective communication, parent leadership, transition, and dispute resolution. Those are some of the topics of our wonderful workshops. How does MPACT provide services? So this kind of breaks it down by the staff and mentors. So parent advisors provide direct assistance to families and complete initial assessments. They also provide action plans, send resources, and help prepare families for IEP meetings. Regional coordinators provide trainings, workshops, and presentations. They network with local agencies, assist families, attend meetings, and recruit and support mentors. I want to say this again, I always say this, if it is laid on your heart and you have really a passion to help families, please feel free to reach out to me or to our 1-800 number to become a mentor. Mentors are such a viable, essential part of MPACT. We would not be here without our mentors. Our mentors, some of our mentors have been here for as long as MPACT has been open. You know, so it is an honor to be a mentor. If you would like more information about that, like I said, please feel free to reach out to me. Bear with me, guys. Let's see what my screen is doing. There we go. How does MPACT ensure that efficiency of their services, efficacy of their services? So we have training evaluations, Alliance National Parent Technical Assistance Outcome Surveys, educational meetings, and satisfaction surveys. So you all will be receiving something similar like this in your email, and you just click on it and you just, it's about maybe 10 minutes or so, not that long, and you just give a rating for today's training, okay? MPACT's collaboration with school districts. So parent training presented within school transition training, presentations and resource fairs, professional trainings. So basically we provide trainings in the schools, we provide resources for schools, we provide transition training and professional training. So every single year, MPACT has a national summit. Well, I guess you could say a state summit that's in Jeff City, and all schools within the Missouri school districts are invited. And this is a great time for networking, and it's for our transition for youth. So we provide a variety of different resources and have a lot of community agencies that come out to Jeff City, and it's just a day for transitional youth. MPACT also has something called Regional Transition Networks, also known as RTN. MPACT covers a lot of different counties, and there's about, I want to say, maybe 15 or 16 RTNs throughout the state of Missouri. And what those RTNs does is that they network with other community agencies, and they put on different events for youth with transition. So I facilitate an RTN in the Kansas City area called Kansas City RTN, and it's a variety of different agencies that have a passion for helping youth with transition. And we put on events like reverse job fairs. We put on mock interviews to help the youth. We just provide a variety of different helpful, essential resources for transitional youth. So be on the lookout for a summit coming near you. Right now, I'm not sure when it's going to be due to the pandemic. However, we might be going virtual. So be on the lookout. Contact us. So this is the end of our overview of MPACT services. Please feel free to contact us. Browse our resources at www.missouriparents.org. Stay in touch with us at info.missouriparents.org, or find us on Facebook or Twitter. Please give us your thoughts. Once again, there's a survey. That is it. And I will stop sharing my screen. And then Ms. Kirsten, did you want to take questions now, or do you want to wait until after Ms. Leah presents?
You're muted.
Sorry, I thought I unmuted myself. I think it'd be easier to take questions now directed towards you, and then
Okay.
have some for Leah's side later.
All right. So without further ado, does anyone have any questions for me before I let Ms. Leah come on?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
If we had been in the past, not this school year, but it was like, I guess it was at the beginning of this school year, end of last school year.
Mm-hmm.
If we were in contact with the MPACT person,
Mm-hmm.
and they were helping us, and that she had some personal problems, and so she was not as she couldn't help us as much as she had wanted to.
Okay.
I went into the IEP meetings and everything on my own with not as much confidence, and they didn't go well, even though I had brought my son's home therapist and outside of school, his outside therapist. He had an occupational therapist that came in home and outside of home, and the meeting didn't go well. And so he's getting ready to go into high school, and he is a little afraid, and I am very afraid.
Yeah.
So is there a way that I can start up again with MPACT? Or
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you would just call the 1-800 number, hun, or either you can reach out to the MissouriParents.org, and there is a way for you to do a website submission. And then from there, our receptionist, our state receptionist, then gives the coordinators your information, and then somebody would reach out to you. So yeah, you can reach out to MPACT as many times as you need to. If you need help with navigating what's going on currently, and we all know, and I'm anticipating, everybody is kind of in crisis because what is the fall going to look like due to this pandemic? So I'm expecting it, a lot of the impacts that we're all expecting. So yes, hon, please feel free to reach out again. Absolutely.
Okay.
There is no time limit.
So I've been told that I'm going to actually run into problems since he's now going into high school with getting assistance. And is that something that MPACT can educate me on and help me with? Okay.
Yep, absolutely. So we help families from kiddos being from infants to age 26.
Okay.
So yes, absolutely. That's that transition age right there. And it's kind of, you would definitely benefit from some of the events that we have for transition. That's what I'm talking about. It's wonderful information, because you need to be as proactive as possible, especially with him getting ready to go to high school. And there's a lot of services that can assist him too. So definitely reach out to us.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You are very welcome. Hi, Carla. Does anyone else have any questions? All right. Well, I'll let Miss Leah take the floor, and I'll mute myself.
All right. I'm going to share. I think you have to allow me to share. Let me get my screen up.
Did
Hold on a second.
while Princess was still talking.
Yeah,
Able to?
yes. Make sure I'm on 2 different computers, so I'm hoping I'm sharing 2 different monitors. I'm hoping I'm sharing the
That
right
is
version. What do you see?
Families Together.
You see my Families Together
PowerPoint.
presentation?
Mhm.
Perfect, perfect, because I'm seeing something different.
Ah,
Not sure why, but we're okay. We're good. Let me get it here. There we go. How's that? Better? All right. So, Princess, thank you. That was a great introduction and a great overview of the Parent Training and Information Center. And we do so many things similar, that's for sure.
Yes, you're very welcome.
I will tell you just a little bit about myself. My name is Leah Holly. I've been with Families Together for more than 20 years now. And like Princess, it's my passion. When my baby in that picture, Sean, was 2, he was diagnosed with severe autism, and we were told to prepare to put him in an institution. And Families Together was the call that I made out of all of those calls. You know, when your kid gets diagnosed, you get the book of numbers and you call in the wrong number, you live on the wrong side of the state line, wrong county, make too much money. Families Together was that organization that was there for us. And I am proud to say that that young man now has 2 jobs, knows more people than I do in the community. He still has autism and he still has some significant challenges, but he has certainly paved the way in our community, and we live in the metro as well. So he has paved the way for many youth. I also have an older son. Sean is now, my kiddo there is 27, and my oldest son is 29. And he was diagnosed with dyslexia, or a significant learning disability in reading. And 2nd grade told he most likely wouldn't read on grade level. By 8th grade, he tested out of learning disability services and into gifted services. And so I'm pretty proud of both of my boys. And my oldest actually does sibling workshops, and he helps with some of our other training as trainers too. So Families Together, our mission is to encourage, educate, and empower Kansas families to be effective advocates for their sons and daughters with exceptionalities. And we say exceptionalities in Kansas because gifted is covered under our special education law. So disabilities, any exceptionality, any special health care need as well. We are a little different than MPACT in that we are not only the Parent Training and Information Center, we're also the Family to Family Health Information Center and the Parent to Parent for Kansas. So we are very fortunate that we have an umbrella that families can call, and we have our health specialist here and our parent specialist here that can help them navigate through the different systems. We were founded in 1982 and have had the PTI grant since 1986, and we just submitted, I'm sure you guys did too, Princess, for our, every 5 years we have to rewrite for the federal grant. So we just submitted for that renewal. That was fun.
Yeah, it was so fun. Oh my gosh. I feel your pain, Leah.
Yeah, I know. We all do.
Yes.
So we are one Parent Training Information Center, like Princess said, that each state some states have more than one. We have 3 different locations. We have our Topeka Center, our Wichita Center, and we have a presence in Garden City as well. We also have a Spanish hotline for Spanish-speaking families. We have staff who assist our Spanish-speaking families. Again, just kind of the same thing that Princess said, we provide individual assistance. The thing that makes MPACT and Families Together very unique is that there is no waiting list and there are no costs. You call us, we're going to answer the phone, we're going to be there to help you. In this world of waivers and Medicaid and school systems, a lot of times there's these waiting lists we have to be on. But we are here. Families Together's here. You pick up that phone and we're going to be there for you. We provide individual assistance via the phone, email, and again, toll-free in Spanish. We will meet one-to-one with the family, review IEPs and behavior intervention plans, help you understand how to build effective partners, and locate community resources. We also provide, that individual parent assistance. That starts when your kid is born or when they're diagnosed with a disability. And so whether you're navigating the school, the early childhood, transition to adulthood, trying to find funding resources, or dealing with behavioral challenges, we're here for you. And we have it for our Kansas families. We do have an organizational toolkit called All About Me that we'll send out free to families, and it's helped get their educational and community resources organized. We have a grant with the State Department of Education, and I'm going to talk a little about some of these programs that the State Department of Education funds. Our Education Advocate Program, which in Missouri, they're called Surrogate Parents. They are individuals who volunteer to be trained and represent students whose parents' whereabouts are unknown or the rights have been terminated, and they need somebody to be there and act as a parent on their behalf. And so we do that. We have that grant with the State Department of Education to where we can train those individuals, and we're always looking for volunteers. And that program is actually ran out of our Topeka office. We also, one of our new grants is through the Kansas State Department of Education. It's the School Mental Health Initiative. And we've got some great resources on our website, specifically helping families understand the social, emotional, behavioral, and mental health needs. I mean, we got so many kids who struggled with trauma, and this COVID situation has caused so much trauma for some of our families, just dealing with the changes and all of that. So our website actually has some really great resources specific to disability, specific to how to help your kid at home, and those things from state and federal as well. Sorry. We have a grant through our Kansas Council on Developmental Disabilities, and that's my baby at one of his jobs, sorry. And through there are two of our main things that they provide. Our Family Employment Awareness Training. We provide a 2-day training for parents and youth and professionals to learn together. The first day is on increasing the expectations, knowing that people with disabilities can work and still keep their benefits if needed. And we teach how to access federal and Kansas employment-related services. We do some person-centered planning, and we give people the opportunity the first day to meet young adults who have disabilities who are employed. And then on day 2, we have all of our different agency partners, Folk Rehab, the independent living centers, the workforce centers. They're all there in the afternoon to visit with families. And then our IEP Mentor Project, we're pretty excited about this. This was new last year. We provide intensive support. We're able to provide person-centered planning, and with both the parent and the youth. It's targeted at the transition age, those families. We do have some other families that we serve under that as well, based on the needs of the family. So we're excited about being able to provide that intensive services, and we're able to go to IEP meetings that way. In the past, due to our funding, we just didn't have the staff to be able to attend IEP meetings. Now, thanks to COVID, there are many things that we have learned Zoom is now a great way to do IEP meetings and other things as well. So that gives us a better ability to reach some of those populations in rural Kansas that we were not able to attend meetings with, or those kind of things. Through our Department of Aging and Disability Services, we also have grants through them to provide for parent assistance. We have a shift transition to adulthood conference for parents and transition age youth. We come in and we spend a lot of time talking about voc rehab and the process and how to access independent living centers and transition to adulthood resources. And we really try to focus that transition and empower the youth to lead it and be the ones who are engaged in answering the questions. And we have a Jeopardy game that we play, and of course the kids take that over really quickly. So there's trying, this is just one of more of our workshops, and you can see we've got 3 dates already scheduled. Kansas City, we're still trying to make sure that we're going to be able to do that with KCK School District. We have an iTransition booklet and workshop that we go into the schools. We partner with the schools, go into the schools, and with the teachers and their peers, provide a training, interactive training for youth with intellectual developmental disabilities, and helping them learn to be more engaged and empowered to be a part of their IEP meeting. And so we're pretty proud of this project. We've been doing it probably for 7 years now, and the Office of Special Education Programs, who it funds all of the PTIs. PTIs are funded under the same funding that provides the funding for special education in schools. And so we were cited for this project as exemplary as part of that. All right, and then we have some new online modules for youth. And right now there you can find them at that link, and I can send this information out. We are starting to move towards some a different place to house these, but and there will be a link to that when you go on our webpage as well. But this is just another way we're trying to reach those transition age youth. Because the part of the PTI grant is not just training and educating and supporting parents, but it's also, like Princess said, it's also reaching out and empowering those youth to become effective advocates and to be able to transition into the employment and into their communities. So our parent-to-parent program matches parents who have shared experiences. So when Sean was diagnosed with severe autism, I called families together and they connected me with another mom who had been there, done that, who are walking in similar shoes. And so we are able to do that with families at whether it's a disability or a different stage in life. So that I will tell you, parent to parent is the reason I am sitting here, and the reason my boys are where they are is because I had that connection, that ability to talk to another parent. And I'm honored to be here and so proud of our programs. We are also the Family to Family Health Information Center. So basically helping parents navigate the healthcare system and understand their kids' special healthcare needs. And even kids with ADHD can qualify as a kid with special healthcare needs, because our kids see how many therapists, how much medications they take, and so we can help families navigate those as well. And here, there's just some more of the ways that our family to family, we can help families understand and navigate. We also can help, like I said, health insurance, Medicaid, EPSDT, transition to adulthood, funding sources, and understanding the individualized healthcare plan that needs to be attached to an IEP if you have a student who's taking medication or has a health need that affects them at school. And then for our families, we also have a caring notebook that we send out to families, and it is a health organization book. It also has sections in there for your educational components as well. We have a youth health guide that we created in partnership with the Mayor Group, which was one of the Medicaid providers in Kansas. And so that is also available. Our Together We Can Learn conference is our big annual event, and it is scheduled at this point on September 12th at the KU Edwards campus in Kansas City. Again, just like Princess said, are we going to have to go virtual with this, or are we going to be able to provide it live? So we provided national speakers. We bring in breakout sessions from different experts across the state. We have an education and we have a healthcare strand. And so it's just one more way we're trying to educate parents, youth, and educators together. We have a parent leadership conference, and it's a free overnight event, and that happens here in Topeka. We partner with like 8 or 12 different agencies to provide. I mean, it is an amazing conference, and the parents go off and learn, and the kids are paired with peers or are in groups, and they get a free overnight stay in the hotel, and so the kids love it because their parents have to go to school and they get to go have fun. And then we have our team empowerment conferences, which are conferences that are specifically targeted at whether it's transition or behavior, whatever that may be. It's just there's special conferences we host. So it's our hope through support and information to enable families and communities to maximize the abilities of children and youth with disabilities and or special health care needs. That's a really quick snapshot. Again, here's our contact information. And a parent can, it doesn't matter in Kansas where you live, you can contact any one of our centers or our locations, and we will be able to assist you. And that is my contact information. And Princess, I want to work with you to maybe we can use one survey instead of spamming on 2 different surveys.
Okay. That sounds good, Leah.
So if you want to send it out and then send me whatever, that would, because I don't want to send everybody 2 different things. We all have a lot, right?
Yeah.
If you guys,
I just have to figure, it's through SurveyMonkey, so I have to figure out how I would share it.
You can share the results after you
guys
pull it down to Excel.
your surveys just with a link,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I could send out an email that says, fill this out if you're in Kansas, fill this out if you're in Missouri. Would that work? Because I think your states are separate, correct? Do you want the data for your state? Or do you want it from both?
I think it's fine with both. Leah, what do you think?
I think it's fine with both.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we could
we'll
just send out Princess's link, and because you can pull down the data into an Excel doc off of, but we can figure that offline. How's that? These people, families need to, Did you guys have any questions as far as Kansas goes, or even for Princess?
Feel free to unmute and ask away.
So, sorry, I'm really curious what kinds of distance learning questions you guys are getting, or what kinds of answers you're giving families.
Wonderful question, Carla.
Very, very good.
I'm going to try to take a stab at it, Leah. I know I'm going to depend on you to kind of jump in.
All right, we'll get this together.
Yes, because I know you've probably heard some wild stories.
Yeah.
Right now, Carla and everyone here, we're just playing it by ear. Every district, especially the Missouri side, is able to do their own thing. So it's going to look very different. I've seen some districts in Missouri, for example, Columbia. Columbia already has a reentry plan where they're giving parents an option to do either in person or do virtual. And their virtual is going to be through Mizzou, to my understanding. And so my understanding is that middle school children in Columbia, it's going to be 40 to 60 students. So I don't know how comfortable, as a parent, I'm a parent too, and I know you all are parents, how comfortable I would feel with my child even going to school with 60 kiddos. That's still too much, especially with social distancing. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, once again, it's going to depend on the district and your comfortability. And most likely the district is going to be giving either virtual or in-person options. That's as far as I know right now. Leah, what about you?
Yeah, at this point, we're waiting. I think it's July 10th. Our State Department of Education is going to release some guidance.
Okay.
But what we're hearing is pretty much the same thing, is each district is going to be able to take that and try to develop something that meets the needs of their students.
Yes.
We've heard anything from students only going on Tuesdays and Thursdays and others going Monday and Wednesday, smaller groups.
Yeah.
And, you know, because there are some kids that virtual that, man, we just learned really great because
Yeah.
these kids do excellent with virtual. We've got
Exactly.
other kids.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah. And so I think one of the big things as you move forward is really talking to that IEP team about, will this work for my kid? And what do we need to do to meet those individual needs? Because some of our districts, even at the end of the school year, State Department said, kind of put out a blanket, you can do as you choose. Well, some of our districts decided that they were going to provide an opportunity to learn, which meant they weren't providing required general education classes. They weren't providing that anymore. Literally at that last 9 weeks, you got your grade you wanted unless you wanted to up it. But so that really affected our special education students, because if you're not required to provide general education, then how does that affect those kids who are required to have that ability to access and progress in the general education curriculum under IDEA? So it became a real challenge.
And see, and the thing is that my understanding is that if the school district was not providing instruction for general education kiddos, they do not have to do for SPED students either. So I think a lot of our parents were kind of at a loss, because here we're talking about regression, as we all know, extended school year. What is that going to look like? A lot of our kiddos are going to be regressed, you know, and you're saying that you're not going to provide any instruction. You know, I mean, it's almost like a crisis in itself with the schooling. And so once again, just depending on the district, I've seen some districts provide excellent resources and excellent accommodations virtually. Now, did it really work for the student? I don't know, but they attempted. I've seen some kiddos receiving PT, OT through Zoom. I've seen some kiddos receive speech services through Zoom. I've seen some teachers still having their SPED class, resource class through Zoom. Now, due to confidentiality, I don't know all the, you know, legal legalities with that, because I have my thoughts on that, you know, but nevertheless, a lot of districts, they've been trying, but once again, it's just going to really depend on that district. Another term I want to throw out there for you all, and Leah, they probably have something similar in Kansas, but AMI, alternative method of instruction. What is that going to look like virtually? That is our new wonderful definition, because if the kiddo is a SPED student and they're going to be going to school virtually, that needs to be included in the IEP. What is that alternative method of instruction for that student? That needs to be all spelled out. So kind of like Leah said, I definitely second her. Please have a meeting with the IEP team as soon as possible. Because we have to figure out what is this going to look like for your child now, if they're going to go in person or if they're going to go virtually. There has got to be some new accommodations and modifications, most likely, that needs to be included in that IEP.
Well, and you really need to, as a parent, think of since COVID started, since we went virtual, start thinking about what worked and what didn't work. Are there areas that your child regressed in? And don't just think about academics, think of social, emotional, any of those things. Start building yourself a list of, this was good, this was not good, these are his needs, and these are his strengths. But have that so that when you come to the table, you have some information to be able to present to the school and say, look, you know, he did really great in math when you did it this way, but his behavior is through the roof, whatever it may be. You know, and the Office of Special Education Programs just put out some new guidance. We just got it yesterday, and I haven't looked at it.
It's a lot. I'm telling you, it's a lot of information. I know on the Kansas side to Missouri side, same thing. Department of Education, they provide a lot of, you know, guidance as the best that they can. But it's definitely, it's going to take you some time. So, you know, if you're bored and you just want to have a good read, please take a look at it, because some of the questions that you have most likely will hopefully be addressed when you go to the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education's website.
And you can find it on our Families Together website, specific to Kansas, and the federal stuff too. And I think that that's, if you have those questions, you can also call us.
Yeah.
And we can help you walk through it and navigate what that says, how it, because it's going to apply differently to every kid. The big thing is it's individualized education program.
So, Princess, hi everybody. I'm Michelle Jenkins. I'm family support provider with Swope Health Services, Children Behavior Health, and I provide services. I advocate just with the parent only. I don't do anything with the kiddos. However, I do go into the schools and I do assist with IEPs and 504s. So, Princess, I did get a question from, I think it was my supervisor or either one of the caseworkers about the minutes that the kiddos are supposed to be getting. Is that some of the things that you're talking about now? The way that they'll get them?
So my understanding is, and once again, the districts are still trying to, really earn out the kinks. But from what my understanding is that it's parents, we're going to have to be open-minded. Because once again, this pandemic came out of nowhere. This is our first time really in history that it's ever been in shambles as bad as it is. So I'm telling families now to kind of be flexible, but just to throw some things out there, and once again, it's going to depend on the district. I've seen a district, once again, with the reentry plan that stated that a parent could have the option of doing virtual, let's say for general education, but then if they wanted their SPED minutes, they would have to come in person. So once again, it's really going to be individualized to that district. And that's going to be something that you definitely want to discuss with the IEP team and really discuss, kind of what is this going to look like Leah said, for my child. It's individualized.
And I think it's, our word we have been saying through the beginning portions of this was to give them grace, to work with the school district. And, everybody has our kids' best interest at heart. Now, as we move into the new school year, we've had time to get some of this virtual under our belts and learn a little bit more. So, but it's important that you do ask those questions. If he's got 30 minutes of speech on his IEP 4 days a week, how are we going to do this? And is it in small groups, or is it in individual sessions? And is it going to be done virtually? And, we've had people say, look, in our State Department put out, look, if you can have football practice, you can have provide some of these services as well.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
And that's where that AMI comes in at too, alternative method of instruction. What is that going to look like? That needs to be included in that child's IEP. Because it's definitely going to be obviously an alternative method if they're doing virtual.
Carla, that was a cutie. Who was the cutie?
That is Russell. Princess knows all about him. Sorry, go ahead, Michelle.
No, you go ahead. I want to know who the cutie is too.
That is Russell, who Princess has been hearing about for about 3 years.
Yes, finally got to meet the cutie.
And just to clarify a little more, so Russell got virtual speech, virtual OT, and virtual Braille.
How did that go?
It actually, they all went well, except when Dad did the Braille, but we'll leave that aside. Dad hasn't learned his alphabet yet, which is kind of a problem for him to be the para helping on the student side for the virtual Braille lesson. But yesterday I went to my school board meeting and they're buying Chromebooks for every kid K through 12. They had them for 4 through 12 before, but Chromebooks are not the right accessible technology for Russell. So even though we've already had his IEP meeting for the fall, I'm now writing back to the team and saying, that's so great that you guys are planning for hybrid or virtual if that's what we need. So if that's the case, this is what Russell's going to need. And I would love to hear from his TVI, who of course is out for the summer. Everybody else is out for the summer. Nothing's going to happen until August. I just wanted the principal and the head of technology and the head of special ed, while they're ordering these thousands of Chromebooks, to be thinking that they better be thinking about the accessible technology piece too.
Absolutely.
Well, and I think it's important to know that, even your kids who have learning disabilities, or you can't hand them a Chromebook and expect them to be able to access the material if they haven't provided them training on how to use the speech to text or the text to speech, or whatever that assistive technology that they need to be successful. And we also have to remember that a lot of our rural families do not have access to the internet.
Yeah.
So Princess, or Leah, you're talking about the AMI
Yes,
and that
alternative
it
method
should
of
be
instruction.
included in the IEP. Tell me a
Yes.
little bit more.
So, this is, fresh off the press, so you guys are kind of in the exclusive right now. Where
Yes.
a lot of the Department of Education's, Leah, and I know, I don't know if it's exactly called the same on the Kansas side, maybe it is, but basically, the Department of Education has, obviously they're trying to figure out, how are we going to meet these SPED students' needs, virtually and things of that nature, and be successful at it. And so it's discussion now with AMI, alternative method of instruction, meaning that we're going to add something to that child's IEP that's going to be there just in case they have to go all virtually. It's basically being proactive,
Okay.
being proactive, putting those right resources and accommodations for that child in place for virtual learning. So It's something brand new. Some school districts don't even know about it, to be honest with you. I mean, it's brand new right off the press.
Yeah, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that term in Kansas. I've heard it before, but I have not heard them refer to it. I mean, it's basically, are they modifying the curriculum? Are they providing accommodations? How are they individualizing the curriculum? And I like the term because it's very to the point and says how we're going to do this.
Yep. And my understanding is that plan is attached to that. It's a part of that IEP. That's my understanding of it. Is that, it's a part of the IEP, and it's a plan that is going to accommodate that student if they were to go all the way virtual, or if there's going to be some type of switch. So kind of like I said before, if that kiddo is going to have virtual maybe in the morning time, and then in the afternoon they go in person, whatever that may be, it would be added to the IEP.
So the AMI, are you saying that it's automatically added? Do I have to have another meeting and talk about this AMI?
Yes, good question. So kind of like I said before, it's fresh off the press. A lot of districts are not even familiar with that term. So this would take educating the families that you're working with, and then probably having another meeting discussing it.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yep.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
You are welcome. Yeah, because and once again, kind of like Leah said, we have got to have we have to be flexible. We have to be flexible, and we have to be able to work collaboratively, because it's a team approach. We have to be able to work as a team, and especially during this time. So I've been telling families this too, I know things are kind of in crisis mode. You really don't know what's going to happen, but we need to work together. Remember, we're all in this together, and we're learning this together. This is something that has never happened before. This is a pandemic. This means worldwide, countrywide. There is no one escaping this. So meaning that you have to be a little bit flexible, and we'll figure out together how to earn through these, kinks, because it's, everybody is affected.
Thank you.
So Kristen, you getting ready to close us out?
Sure, we're almost to 8 o'clock. So does anybody have any last minute questions?
So I just want to throw out there, with Ms. Kirsten, once again, thank you for inviting Leah and I. Hopefully we will be able to do a collaborative training together, both Missouri and the Kansas PTI. That would be wonderful. So stay tuned, you all. You're going to be in for a treat.
We would love to be able to do that.
Yes.
We've talked about it in the past a little bit, but, I live in the metro, so it makes it very easy for me to kind of do some of that planning there as well. So thank you everybody for giving up your evening tonight, and thanks for having us on. This was a great idea, and glad that we could answer your questions, and you've got our phone numbers. And Princess, I got your email and you got mine, so you can send me whatever.
Okay, I will do.
It's really helpful. I know a lot of people don't have any idea what services are available, so I think it was very helpful just to kind of get broad overviews from both sides of the state line.
Yeah, you have this recorded, right?
I did, yes.
Okay, yeah, you can send us the link.
I can do that.
Yeah, I actually have a kiddo that's he just turned 19. I'm very glad to have met you this evening. He's going to be moving from Missouri to Kansas, and he's still wanting to be in services. So I will be referring his mom and himself to you or your organization. So
just have him call me directly.
I will.
Yeah, have him call me directly, and I'll be
excited. I have a direct number.
Yeah, it's 785-233 4777.
Okay, I wrote that down earlier. Yeah.
We have an 800 number too, if you need that instead.
Okay, yeah, I'll keep this one, but I am going to be referring that family to you.
Perfect.
All right,
I'd be
thank
happy.
you.
Transition is kind of my passion.
And that's where
And
he's
so,
at.
yeah.
Yeah, he want to stay in mental health services, but just whatever is available for
Yep.
him.
Okay.
Thank you.
And
You're
that's what it's all about, guys. This is what it's all about. Such a success. I'm so glad we did this too.
Yes, I am too. You know, I love meetings.
Yes. Knowledge is power. It really is.
I love them. So yes.
Well, I love your smile this late at night too. So.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Well,
it's been a pleasure, everyone. Everyone stay safe and
thank you.
healthy and have a blessed evening.
You do the same.
Bye,
Thank you,
everybody.
guys.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.